Alright. Since we are now level 180, I haven't seen any death guides yet, so I decided to make one. So here it is. Let's show the stats first. 262 death damage, which is pretty good. 55 resist across the board. 33 accuracy. 804 crit. 818 block, which is good, I think. And here's a big one. 49 PS, which is really good. 100% pip chance. The base shadow rating, because I don't have anything that gives shadow rating. And then 199 arts mastery, whatever. Let's get to the gear. Oh yeah, this is using the thriller sword. I will show a thing without using the thriller sword, which all I really have to do that is unequip this mount. But yeah. So for the hat, we're obviously gonna be using the Abomination hat. This is the best hat in the game. For the robe, there are 3 options that you could do here. You could either, let me go over to Shazar. You could probably use this, right? The Sky Abomination robe. Or if you have it, you will use the Baleful Plot Armor, which is from the Forbidden Gauntlet, Library Gauntlet. Or if you have it, you could use the Motorist robe. Motorist robe, if you have it. If you do, you will be gaining 3 damage compared to what I have, and also 1 more pierce, and some more accuracy. You would lose some pip chance and some resist, and some health as well, but it's fine. If you want to go free to play though, you could either try to farm for the Baleful Plot Armor in the Forbidden Library Gauntlet by either having a friend that has it, or like asking someone to help you farm it, or by doing it the way that is against the rules, I think. It's the glitch way, which currently we can't do the glitch way because it's free membership for everyone. And to do the gauntlet glitch, you have to actually have someone that doesn't have membership. But yeah, you either get the Baleful Plot Armor or just use the Sky Abomination robe or whatever it's called. For the boots, we have the Sky Abomination Stompers. Obviously, basically everything is gonna be the Sky Abomination Stompers, like stuff. For the wand, again, Sky Abomination. Okay, here we get to here. So, Sky Abomination a theme, right? And I also, for 155 jewel, 2 11% damage jewels, and a 700 health jewel. Okay. Now here is a thing. I didn't get the Sky Abomination amulet because if we look at it, the only real difference here is the cards that it gives you. So if you really want the Enfeeble or the Spare Blade, then you can do that. But the only thing that you gain from this is some block, like 1 resist, some pip conserve, some health, and that's about it, other than the spells, obviously. So for me, it wasn't worth farming for. But yeah, for the jewels, you could, if you wanted to, you could lose 6 PS and go up to 273 damage. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go more PS. You could also do that with the ring instead, or whatever you want to do. For the pet, I have a quad damage, mighty, and then pierce. And since it's the further soul, I gain an extra 5 damage from that. And obviously the mount zombie Bonto. For the deck, I'm still using the Dreamweaver. The only difference is like some crit, some health, probably block, and arts mastery. And maybe the card as well. I actually haven't looked at the deck. I know it's not that important of an upgrade. Let's see. Yeah, exactly what I said. So some health, some block, some crit, and some arts mastery, and a change of spell. Which, technically for questing, this could be decent. Because since it costs 0 pips and it's another buff, well, this one is 1 pip and it gives a buff. But, I don't use the card anyway. Now, if we want to do the stats without having Stompy Bonto or the Philosopher pet, I immediately lose 5 damage, and that's about it. I go down to 257 damage, and everything else is the same. Yeah. Again, if I had the Modus Robe without the Stompy Bonto, I would have 260 damage. But, yeah. Now, if you wanted to, you could also just go full out damage. I don't have a full damage pet, so I can't sell that. But I would only be gaining 4 damage compared to what I have right now if I was using a full damage pet. Because, see, I'm only missing the 4% universal damage talent. So this would go up to 261. And then if I had it on the Philosopher, it would be 266, I think. But yeah. And that's about it. Again, you could lose some PS and get more damage. But for me, I don't think that would be worth it. Because the PS is really good. It makes so you can, like, if the enemy is sealed, so you can pierce like a ton of it, if not all of it. Now, again, if I had a Modus Robe, I would have that's 50 PS. Like, I'd have 50 PS instead of 49, which would be entire tower sealed gone. So, yeah. Again, if you either have the Modus Robe or the actual raid version of the robe, you'd gain some stats, but oh yeah, you would also gain saddle pip chance from that as well, which would be nice, but I don't have any of that. Yeah, that is the full thing. Obviously, if you don't have this, but you have a Gulcher, you could use the Gulcher. If you were to use a Gulcher, which I don't have the Gulcher, but if you were to have it, you would gain 3 damage from the Gulcher mount. So you'd have 260, but I don't have that. I have the Stompy Bonto, which is better, 262, but it's only better by 2. But you don't really need to go for the Stompy Bonto, but I just wanted it because maxing out stats. Yeah. So I would hover over everything for a second. For people who want to compare their stuff. And then obviously Y damage and PS. You could also lose 4 more damage if you wanted to and go down to 258, right? If you had the first stuff, and you could gain 3 more Pierce, which would put me at 52. But I didn't want that. This is as good as it gets, I think. Obviously, for the wand, you would put Tear Jewel. I just don't have socket rinses. That's only like 145 or 150 extra health. Depending on if you have 150 jewel or 155 jewel or whatever jewel. You can easily buy 145 one in Wallaroo. So that would put you, it would put you like 1300, 100 and like 56 or 50, something like that health. Doesn't matter. But yeah. Alright. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. If you guys want to know where to farm these, it's obviously in Darkmoor. The hat, the boots, and I think the robe you get from the final boss. Let me double check that real quick. Okay, no, the robe you get from the Grey Slayer. Okay, yeah, the robe you would get from the Grey Slayer. You also get the thing from the Grey Slayer. The ring, okay, the ring is a secret boss that you have to go to. In Grave Home. Okay, you would go over to the Solemnai district, and there will be an NPC over here that you talk to. And there would be an NPC like standing right here that you would talk to. Since I already did the quest, he's not here, but they would be standing here, and she basically makes you talk to some people, and then you end up going in here and fighting it. The strategy for that is basically, if you have the people, you would have a Storm Wizard hitting, of course, or a Fire Wizard. I don't think it would really matter, but you'd have on round 1. You'd do triple feints, like one feint on each of the sisters, because it's a triple boss fight. So you would put one feint on each of the sisters, preferably a 80% one. And then on round 2, one person would use mass feint, and then 2 people would blade the storm or the fire, whichever one, or whatever school. And then the hitter would hit with the 7 pip AoE. Oh yeah, on round 1, the hitter would either aura or blade themselves. Yeah, that's the strategy for that. But yeah, I will see you later. Bye guys.